Reaching for the, reaching for the, reaching for the stars. Reaching for the stars.
Boy.
I'm just reaching and reaching.
Peace, world. Welcome to another episode of the Live to Legendary podcast with my co-host Sko. Today, very special guest. This man is on the news so much you think he's an anchor. This man has so many awards you think he's the mayor. He is a community leader, a father, a husband, a servant, an entrepreneur, an idealist, a philanthropist, and just a community hero. I'm honored to have him on here today. Give it up, y'all, for Ryan Harris.
Man, thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for having me.
Man.
For sure,
See you
man.
playing in the building today.
Absolutely.
Sure, Mr. Green, though.
Yeah, so thank you for having me, man. It's been a long time coming. We were supposed to been had this meeting, but it's all, divine timing. Y'all got a 2-for-1 treat today. I bought my man from Frankfurt. We trying to figure out how we can share resources and, do what we need to do to make sure we take care of the youngins. So this is like my brother in this work, man. Outside of that, my brother in Christ, you know what I mean? So
train up a child in the way he should go. What does that mean to you?
Say it again.
Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. That's heavily represented all through your organization. I see Proverbs 22:6 everywhere.
It's so crazy that you starting off like that because that's we in it. I mean, you know how you gotta get into the deep conversation. That's it right there. Proverbs 22:6 is, I'm a product of it. So even through my trials, tribulations, trauma that I had to endure through, whatever I was trained up to be, them core values was instilled in me and created who I am today. So everything I was trained up to be as a young child, whether I was listening haphazardly or taking it all in or whatever the case may be, those lessons didn't ever leave from me.
Right.
And that's like your foundation. Like when you get lost, you have something to come back to.
Right.
And I had, a solid foundation to come back to that wasn't shaky, that whenever I strayed away too far, I was always able to come back to something that would give me context of, I know why I'm here. I need what I need to do next. You know what I mean? So train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's older, he will not depart from it, man. That's my life. I'm living it out, and I was raised on Christian principles, morals, and values. Raised up in the church, and it took a long time because you fight. You gonna fight, anything that you rebelling from that felt like trauma in your life. To be honest, and I thank God that my foundation was stronger than the trauma that I went through.
Yeah. I love that, man. I ain't gonna hold you. When I saw that all through your organization, I was impressed because most folks, they more Psalms, that's the favorite thing. You know what I'm saying? My cup runneth over, that's everybody. But then also, like, when I'm reading Proverbs, I'm thinking about you, it's more, what it say? He that hath the bountiful eyes shall be blessed, for he giveth his bread to the poor. And I mean, like, you give your time.
He snapping.
I'm saying, like, because I'm also in there, you know what I'm saying? So when I read that, I thought about you. So when you hit the Proverbs 22:6, I said, damn, that whole John might be just screaming you.
No, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, that was just
I appreciate that. And
I appreciate you.
That just speaks to the work that we doing and the unwavering faith that we got while we doing it.
Yeah.
This work not easy.
Not at all.
You need resources, you need connections, you need to go through the gauntlet to get where you need to get to be able to have the resources and provide people with the adequate services that they need.
Right.
If you're not doing that, then you're doing them a disservice.
How did your faith grow so strong?
Before you answer that, I want to give more detail to that. He stood outside on Board and Huntington Park. Like, that's like, Board and Huntington Park, look it up.
The trenches.
I ain't even walking around there through my car. Like, he stayed outside for how long, sir?
2.5 days.
Yeah.
2.5 days you out there for? No, you wasn't.
The first time I went out there, the second time I went out there with Buddha. But the first time we raised $30,000, 2.5 days praying and fasting. That's how we got the building. And then 2022, I linked up with Buddha because of what was going on in the city with the youth, the funding. It was just a lot of problems, and it was going into a hot summer where people was getting killed a lot. This is 2022. And we was just trying to figure out how we gonna maintain the work that we doing through the summer without no funding. And I'm like, Buddha, You know, God did it before, so let's go stand outside and let's go get his money. We were like, come on. And Brown. And Brown, also shout out to Ant Brown. He stepped out and we did it together for the second time, and we raised $50,000. Was able to break that down and take it to our organizations and take care of the summer.
Had the kids out there with us.
Absolutely. From our organization, yeah, for 2 weeks. And I think I lost like 45 pounds in 2 weeks.
You was brushing your teeth out there?
Absolutely. I was living out there. My family was telling me like, yo, you gotta get off the corner.
Like, that's a big dream. How did that impact like your family and like, you know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure with doing stuff like that, there's time away.
Absolutely.
There's times when like your moves are misunderstood.
Absolutely.
So you gotta stay tunnel vision.
Absolutely.
How did that impact your family life and your friend of that?
I'm so lucky to have a beautiful support system that I got. From day one, when I decided to do this work in 2012, it wasn't no question about was we going to be able to do it or accomplish what we set out to do. We came together as a community, what it's supposed to look like. And the very, very different, unique thing about what we got going on, and I like to tell people it's a little bit different in Hunting Park because I'm really from there. Born and raised, it's a little bit different when you born and raised there all your life and you see the generations, you see what's happening to your community, you see what's happening to your friends, kids, and people before them, generational of going to jail and poverty and all that, it just continues. So to have that kind of support system, to believe that we can accomplish that, you know, that was something that gave me, you know, the boost and the battery that I needed to continue or to even just start. And once we got the ball rolling, it was just like meeting God halfway. Because none of the stuff that I'm doing right now has nothing to do with me.
Watch this. As I plant your seed, so from a seed grows a tree.
Absolutely.
So through him planting his seed in the park, he got the tree house.
Absolutely.
Tell us about the tree house.
So the tree house was in result of the 30K fundraiser that we did outside. And we was able to take that money and be able to partner with Hunting Park Neck is in around the corner. Well, it was actually down the street from the house that I grew up in, where my mom still lived. And Mr. Charles, he was, you know, it was an abandoned property just sitting there, and it used to be like connected to the community center, this actual building that they own. And we was able to partner to pay the taxes off to be able to get the building. And they was actually thinking about letting it go because nobody could maintain it, they couldn't afford it. And we was able to step right in and utilize the money to fix the building up because it was like abandoned. Turned a 3-bedroom house into a full-fledged community center, running 13 programs officially out the treehouse right now.
I done seen a real question. Ask him when do he sleep, bro?
How did Buddha add on to what you're doing?
I mean, Buddha was just always another voice that I could see that was doing the real work. Everybody work almost kind of look the same when you're on the outside looking in, but when you're on the inside looking out, you can see what's really going on. And I like to connect with people that's really in their community, that don't got no ego, and that's willing to go up and beyond for the kids, and that's him right there.
So this question's for both of y'all then. When you actually start hearing your calls?
Cheney, man.
Cheney was crazy. That was a project.
I don't regret nothing. I don't regret nothing that, you know, I experienced up there. But Cheney was not the time that I was being I was being pruned at Cheney. My mentor, God rest his soul, Dr. Flynn, he was my professor. And it took me 7 years to graduate from Cheney, if nobody know that. I always tell the story because I was supposed to graduate 2008. I really graduated 2011. And my kid was born in 07. I got a job. I've been at Jefferson Hospital for 17 years now. My kid's about to be 18. So that's how long I've been working there. When it was born, I knew I had to go get a job. But I was in school actively. And having twins ain't easy, so I had to make sure I had a job. But while I was literally going through, while I was going through school, when the twins was born, I was making every excuse not to finish school. And my professor, Dr. Flynn, the one that I went to school for recreation leader management, and he really gave me all this insight on how to infiltrate the community and make it better. Best thing about me not having to infiltrate is because I was already from the community. So I had a leg up, and I just took the information that he gave me and I took it back to my community. But after I graduated, was like, I got a wealth of knowledge. I got experience from doing some of the things that I started doing in the community, already at Cheney, because we had to do that in the classes. And I just crossed it over to real life. And I had to figure out what I wanted to do with the information I had. And I wanted to make it accessible, and I wanted to make it pleasurable for people. Because I know one thing about people, a lot of people not interested in things unless it's pleasurable, entertaining, and it's accessible. And I feel like what I created in my community was to be able to have a place where you could be yourself, but it's also like a place where you don't have to shy away from greatness because you don't see nothing else like it in your community. We giving them the blueprint from information I got from Cheney that crossed over into applying it to real life, and it's actually working. And on top of that, you know, my calling in Christ is to really lead people back to who God is, and I'm hoping that I'm showing who God is through me. And those scriptures that you're talking about is literally what I'm doing. I'm not pump faking. You can see the fruit of what I'm doing.
Real servant.
You know what I mean? So
real servant. So Buddha, tell us about how you got your calling and what made you want to join forces with Ryan.
Now it's just like, yo, it was meant to be. Like the position I was in, like growing up from Frankfurt, you know what I'm saying? Like being around, having a bunch of friends, starting off with like little league football, playing for the Chargers. Shout out to the Frankfurt Chargers too. I want to say that because they just won. They won the 8 years for the championship. So shout out to them. And so Frankfurt, like outside looking in, people see a bad perception on it. Like not a lot of
absolutely
just
for
like,
sure.
You know,
wait for that train, nigga. Get off the I'm going. I hate that bar crossing the train. You know, shut that shit down. What is that?
Terminal or Bad Jones?
Growing up and seeing the different obstacles my friends was facing, the people around me, you know, the dying in front of you, seeing dead bodies,
the fiends,
like, the fiends, but just knowing like damn, Frankfurt was other real special people there, you know what I'm saying? Like great entrepreneurs and being able to connect. So I always was kind of like a trendsetter in my neighborhood, always was a leader, like I said, for football, playing quarterback. So I always was seeing those leadership values in me, and then just like I said, learning from my mistakes and stuff, it just prepared me to like being the man I am today, to kind of like see the young generation going through the same route we was going through, or you know what I'm saying, the guidance, the lack of resources. So just being able to like connect and have access to bring back to that neighborhood. Like looking back, like I said, my mom gave me the name Buddha at 1 year old. So not even on no religious tip, but like just what it stand for and stuff. Like, in today's world.
What does Buddha stand for you? Like people might not know.
For me, it's just like as far as like I said, I don't want to go to the religious part of it, but just a person that, you know, was able to connect people and help people through peace and unify people, no matter what you look like, no matter, you know, the politics, the race, the religion, just be able to bring people together, you know what I'm saying?
So you was locked in from,
I was locked
early.
Yeah, I was locked in early, bro, because I remember watching an interview on MTV, like when I was like 8 years old. I forget the artist that was on there, but he was saying like, I always felt like inside I'm gonna be somebody when I grow up. You know what I mean? I was gonna be somebody. So I had got that feeling at an early age, like yo, like my purpose is, you know what I mean? It's meant for me to do something. I didn't know I was gonna be doing this type of work, but it's here now. And then I knew it. Yeah, I felt it. And then with Ryan, I met Ryan. So like I hopped on the on Instagram like around 2014. I was kind of like a little late to Instagram. I hopped on there, and then when I started, you know, doing the nonprofit work, the community work. He already was doing his thing. He had like a group of kids. I think we had the opportunity to like merge our kids to do like a conference somewhere with this big business from like Virginia or something came down to Philly. That's when I first met him. Like I had probably like 20 kids. He had 20 kids. We met downtown, but we really didn't even know each other.
We didn't really know each other, right?
That was like the first initial time I met him, and like he said, our work was just aligned with each other.
It's a mirror. It was like, yo, you really the same person I am in Frankfurt. And coming up playing football, I came up playing football, so I know he got that structure of morals and values from the coaches that we was getting. You know what I mean? So we was living in two different areas, but mirroring the same life almost. You know what I mean? So that was a common denominator that, you know, connected us in our youth. And then what we was doing, activism in the street, was it was unheard of to be walking around with 20, 30 kids. Early 10 years ago, before everybody started jumping on the wave and making it seem like, oh, this is the cool thing to do. But we was really like We had these kids, there were 20 kids. We taking 14, 15 year olds, I probably wasn't nothing but 25.
Right.
You know what I mean?
money, no
26 years old.
Anybody ever tried to deter you from your dream?
Absolutely.
I'm saying, what was the impact of that? How you get about it?
That's a good one, Scott.
So it's good that you said that because I want to bring back that initial moment that made me go outside. It was like you said, it was a dream, literally. And this is going in what I want to call it, transition in our organization. And the space that we was in before, we kind of like grew out of that space, and we needed our own autonomy to do what we need to do and serve how we needed to serve. So it was a lot of tension in the community, a lot of tension in this particular space that we was using. And, you know, I'm asking God, like, what I'm about to do as a leader and how I'm about to respond to what the problem is in front of our face. And I woke up in the middle of the night sweating, and I had a dream about God telling me to go outside and stand there and fast and pray until you raise $30,000. And I'm like, wow, $30,000. I'm thinking, ain't even enough money for real to do nothing when you start really getting into the numbers of a crib. But before I even start doubting myself, I start saying, you know, if you gonna give me vision, then I already know you gonna give me provision. So I'm cool with whatever the task is in front of me when I know God is in front of it. And I was confident going out there. And one of the, I could say it was quite a few people, but one of the ones that stung the worst was my daughter. My daughter sent me a long message, and I had told the community probably like a couple of days. I told my family members, looking at me like, oh, why you can't do this? Why you can't do that? Some of my closest friends like, yo, you look like a nut outside doing X, Y, and Z, whatever. Like, that didn't deter me. But the one that really almost got me was my daughter saying, Dad, nobody gonna give you $30,000. You're gonna be out there forever. I don't want you to be out there. That's my daughter talking. She probably, if she's 17 now, this is 5-6 years ago. So she like 11, 12, something like that. And I just sent her back scriptures, and I remind her who we serve. And if he the creator of all things, then $30,000 ain't no money. And then she sent me back another long message. I believe you gonna do it. Everything gonna be okay, Dad.
Power to
There you go.
Absolutely.
The scripture that you sent to her?
I don't. I'm probably just in my bag because she caught me off guard. And I'm just like, yo, my daughter really concerned about me.
And you must be anointed because think about, like, I ain't gonna lie, that's how I found out about who Ryan was through the 100% situation. Like, who was this guy outside homeless? It's crazy. But 5 years later, he's anointed because I'm from South Philly. If I was down South Philly and this happened, I'll open my eyes, come outside, and I see Michael Vick, I see Black Sam, I see this Cast of Power walking down the avenue, and others, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, I'm gonna lose my mind. Ain't no way, I must be asleep still. Let me catch myself. Like, I want to know from you and add on to who else is there. Like Ryan Harris, he led a walk down Huntington Park and a voting conversation down under Leah Corson. I was at both, and I just want to know, like, how was it leading these superstars, these millionaires, these legends down Huntington Park, bro? That was crazy. Who am I missing? Michael Vick, the Cast of Power.
It was quite a few.
Black Sam.
It was quite a few.
It was crazy.
So let me not. I won't downplay the situation. I would say that I don't really look at people like that. Like, I respect everybody's craft and what everybody do, but I just really look at everybody as human.
But you was the lead, but you were leading them.
No, for sure. And my friend Marvin Bing called me, and they was doing the circuit. They going around the circuit for the vote coming up, and he reached out to me, and we had a couple texts back and forth like, yo, I want to come to Huntington Park. I'm like, ain't no question. You definitely going to come see me. So it was like divine timing, and he brought all of them through. And to be honest, I really didn't even know all the people that was coming through. Marvin Bing, I banged with him. I banged with his work. Yeah. So it wasn't nothing for him to say, this is what I'm doing. I'm like, all right, well, let's do it. And then I kind of was like, not I was kind of shocked that who came out because I wasn't sure.
When you saw him, it was like,
I'm like, oh.
especially Vic though, because Vic did your film.
No,
right?
Vic around a little bit though. Vic around a little bit. You know, he did the Essex film. Yeah, I had a couple of encounters with him, but that day was great for the community. It gave people a sense of hope being accessible to people like that.
Yes.
That they look up to or they watch on TV and it was a great situation. You know what I mean? But I really look forward to people that want to get down and get to the work. And one person that really responded to the work that we was doing once I had those small conversations while you walking and all that was Black Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were just out Collie at the cheeseburger place.
Yeah, he was just showing so much love. And the work that we do resonate with the whole marathon.
Tell us why he's important. Tell us about Black Sam, why he's important right now.
Black Sam, he's very important because the work that they already put out and the work that they're continuing is monumental.
Okay.
To our community and giving people a blueprint and hope to be able to follow. It's one thing to give somebody hope, but to give somebody a blueprint to follow with hope, that kind of make it get real after that. You start to have some tangible outcomes because you got direction versus you having hope and go crash out because you really don't have the blueprint to go with it. So they created a blueprint and hope, and that's half the battle for anybody that's aspiring to do anything. You get a cheat code when you got the directions or the instructions or a way to get to what success look like. And Black Sam, they model that. And they just real individuals that want to see people do good. And they took Black Sam took a liking to me real quick. And I went out there and he really just laced us I got a video on Instagram, he was just basically let them get whatever. I had 10 people with me.
Yo, can I add to?
Yes, you can add to.
Absolutely. To the Black Sam and what you was just speaking on, what they add as far as too. And I was saying the generational wealth, right? So we in a world where us as a culture, a lot of those our jobs and opportunities is getting taken away from either artificial intelligence, either the politicians when they defunding stuff, taking stuff away. Right. So even them building up, their own restaurants and building up their own malls and us, doing stuff like these platforms, the youth start to come up and fall into these opportunities that we create for our own people because you already know it's going to be 5 years from now hard to get a job at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? So this really also setting up them opportunities for our culture because our culture, I feel like we already behind when it comes to a lot, even with the schools like you were saying, education, there's no real artificial intelligence technology stuff being
not in our
schools. You know what I'm saying? So we supposed to be 5 years behind once
5 years, 20 years.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a big thing that I see too, from the outside in, building up those networks and people having to tap in with our own people so we could build that generational wealth up so it could stay in our culture. You know what I'm saying?
So Buddha, tell us about going from a nonprofit to social entrepreneurialism.
Yeah, definitely. I know y'all asked me that. What's social? So social entrepreneur is just really, just bridging that gap between the community stuff that we do, you know what I'm saying, and finding ways to monetize it, creating sustainability through our events. I saw you just had a showcase, so even stuff like that, being able to give people a platform and, at the end of the day, be able to support what you got going on so it could stay in that same, that same hub. So the social part is just really including the, social media as well, the things that we going outside really, boost to the ground, getting these people in front of us to do certain things when opportunities come our way. So that's the route I'm really taking now, transitioning, because when I was in the nonprofit world, which I'm still always going to be in the nonprofit world, but I start to identify my strengths and my weaknesses.
Does nonprofit mean I don't make no money?
No, not at all.
Clear it up.
So
clear it up.
You want to finish with your thought? Go ahead, finish your thought, but I'll clear that up.
Yeah, my transition, it's going to flow with
go ahead, yeah.
Being in the nonprofit world right now is definitely oversaturated, and it's a way where people look at the business side of things, right? But when I got into it, I was more just doing stuff from the heart and just doing stuff for my community off the strength of, just the person I was. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to make a dollar out of nothing. So it came to a time now, the transition is really, like I said, I identify my strengths and my weaknesses. So my strengths is really the events I put together, bringing people together. If I can't help you personally, I can find somebody that can help you. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of my strengths. My weaknesses was the administrative side, the paperwork side, the building up this, and it's like it was no way
I'm
I
so
could be
glad he's
boots to the
saying that.
ground.
Oh
No
my
way I
God.
could be boots to the ground helping all these people, then going back in the lab and getting on the laptop and filling out grants and filling out trying to find the money and all that type stuff. So I found a way to kind of like just merge into doing events and working with other businesses to kind of like just get them exposure through the community at the end of the day. You get what I'm saying? So when my events back in the day started, it was like I'm gonna get these entrepreneurs that's selling with X, Y, and Z to pour back into the community. That was really like the transition that I'm at now. Me and him do like, you know, events together that, you know, we charge a fee to come get entertained, and then on the back end we can still support our kids, support our program, our mission and stuff. So that's what
So that
really
nonprofit,
breaks
you like
it down.
you get the fees from the back end? That what it is?
So let me get here. Because let me get some game. Nonprofit is big business. Nonprofit does not mean you don't make money. That don't make sense. And I want people to stop saying that.
And I want you to give a PSA to the community as far as like what can they do better individually, not just supporting y'all programs, but as individuals, what can they do to make it where we don't gotta work so hard because they got our back, you know?
Right.
Answer
So that's
that
a
for me.
two-part question. So one thing, the first part of that is I want to build a new culture in my community. I want to build a standard that everybody can adopt, that let them see them how God see them. I want to be that resource and stand in the gap of any missing necessities that somebody might need, whether it just be a father figure, whether it be learning skills, whether it be having a place to come get something to eat at, a warm meal. I want to stand in the gap of whatever might be missing in that home, because I know that that's where it started at. And if we can't make excuses for the lack of what we don't have already in the community, because we already know what's designed and why. So we don't gotta ask those questions no more. We can not ask, why is it like this? We can only be innovative on how we choose to fill in those gaps so these kids can grow up and feel a full human being. You know what I mean?
Love that. And,
Oh, the other part.
Yeah.
And what can you do? The easiest thing you could do, right? And you know, a lot of people want to say money, and money is cool, but money don't fully stand in the gap. Money is a tool, you know what I mean? Is a resource, but it's not a source. And the kids need people. They need community, not so much things, but they need those outlets where in times of not understanding or not having the knowledge, you got somebody to hold your hand and walk you through it. That's more important than anything. So even if you can't be in the capacity of me, I tell people my calling is my calling. I ain't pushing nobody to start a mentorship program and grab 20 kids, 30 kids. I ain't asking nobody to do that. But where you can contribute at is, how can you support that person that's advocating for the kids? How can you utilize your skills to invoke the next generation, to prepare them for the things that we know is coming as adults, that we not, I would say, doing a great job at adequately preparing our youth for the next level of after high school.
yeah. That was heavy.
We gotta really deal with the real issues and not deal with the smoke screens of the issues and make it look like you're doing it, but you gotta really do it if you're doing this work, because you doing people a disservice if you really not trying your best to make sure. If you're not doing that, it's like, what's the point of doing it?
Meek Mill said, once you graduate from school and it rolls the streets, and it's like, we gotta got that mentality.
Absolutely.
'Cause it's like,
Absolutely.
you go to high school, a lot of people like, yeah, they scared. Come on.
Absolutely.
Come on. So that was great.
If you prepared, then you're not scared.
Right.
You can't be scared if you're prepared.
What about you, Buddha?
For me, like as far as I was saying earlier, the perception on Frankfurt, you know, outside looking in, me knowing exactly the people there, is like it was really some great entrepreneurs. So for me, it's really like that generational wealth value, bringing Frankfurt up in a light where people don't be afraid to come down there. You know what I'm saying? They don't got to worry about, oh, is this drugs down there, is violence down there, because that's what you're gonna see on the news all the time. So when you come on my page or you come you know, to one of my events, you're gonna see the actual unity.
Different. It's a whole different ball game.
Whole different ball game.
Absolutely.
You're gonna see different people from all over being able just to have fun and have a good time, and then really have those resources. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as the young boys I work with, the youth I work with, they kind of like to the point where we in a whole new world, like a social media world. You know what I'm saying? So really just adding what Ryan was saying, piggybacking what Ryan was saying, as far as just like the support is really about how can y'all basically guide these youth to the right way. Like, you know, we all make mistakes. We all learn from our mistakes and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. These kids is learning from tablets. And as neighbors, like bringing that neighborly.
Get dirty.
Yeah, like,
have fun. Yes.
Why y'all doing this? Like,
Yes.
Yo, go in the house, like, you know what I'm saying? That having that accountability,
Outside
bringing
rations.
that back to Frankfurt, like that's like we're really what I'm fighting on, as far as like when it comes to events, when it comes to connecting people and bringing other people down Frankfurt to kind of like just add those opportunities.
Yeah, get me out there. I ain't coming unless you invite me.
No, for sure. I need y'all out there for sure.
It's your question, Sco. Before we get to your question, Sco, I have something I want to add to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we doing great, Philly, with the Philadelphia thing getting back to city brotherly love. I ain't gonna lie, our murder rate is going down tremendously. But we're not doing good with is the Philadelphia. This city is filthy. Like, stop throwing your McDonald's bag out the window. Like, stop eating and then tossing on the floor because on the ground, because that's your environment. When you go to King of Prussia, when you go out Jersey besides Camden, like, or Delaware, like, they don't play. Even Darby, they give you a fine for that. Because Camden getting better?
Camden getting a lot better.
Okay, yeah, shout out Camden getting better. But Philly, we are not. Philadelphia is very filthy. It's like my children live in King of Prussia. When they come to Philadelphia, they're like, Daddy, why is Philadelphia so dirty?
And you know what's sad about that? I'm gonna cut you off. It's really the mentality. It's really the mentality, because it's crazy that you saying that, because I had to reverse my mind, because I was one of the boys that throw a whole box of pizza out the window.
No, I would get so mad.
I was one of them, but you know who checked me? One of my mentees. Yeah. My mentee checked me like, yo, how you supposed to be community boy? You throw a whole box of pizza out the window. I looked at him. I said, you absolutely right. And ever since then, I never lit it again. And he hold me accountable. Well, I hold people accountable now, but this happened probably like 8 years ago when one of my mentees telling me, you can't be doing that, you a community. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. And then I just did more research of why it's important to keep your community clean. And once I really, really realized it, because who gonna tell you if you just coming outside to it and that's just your trash can all your life and you don't know nothing else until somebody really check you. So, you know, and
it play a big part when you walk out the crib as a kid.
Yes.
Like, my projects, right? Still to this day, they got the same dumpsters when I was growing up, and they overflowed, and
every day.
And the projects, brown walls, and it's not beautiful. It's like you coming outside, it's not beautified for you to have a a good day.
And that's
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm getting at. That makes the mentality.
They don't want your environment is a direct impact on your behavior.
Absolutely.
Think about how all of our kids act. And I'm talking about kids that we ain't even make. How they act when they go to a neighborhood that's clean. Their behavior is different.
They just automatically change. You take them to Disney World, they not even throwing nothing on the trash. They looking for a trash can.
As soon as they get to a space where it's filthy,
it's right back to it.
Their behavior also reflects that.
Mentality.
Filthy, and their language is filthy. You put them in a space where it's not like that, they not cursing.
Absolutely.
They yes sir, yes and all this and all
this.
The neighborhood, man, it impacts the behavior.
And audience, all four of us are education. All four is going to schools. The difference between a school that is dirty versus a school that's clean, education.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, when the best schools are pristine.
Absolutely.
As far as clean. The worst schools you go to them joints is filthy. So it show you, if I don't feel comfortable in here.
Absolutely.
So I just want to bring that.
You bring that up though, because it's crazy, bro. Like, just like yesterday, every time, like the kids gonna bro, I grind them up. You cannot litter around me, bro.
You can't.
Get out the car, go get that, bro.
No, for real. No, you gotta do that to them.
When you look at somebody just littering, like in a car, it bring attention. Just like a ski mask. It's like it's attention. So it's from the rip. It's like, yo, why you doing that, bro? You causing a scene, throwing all your trash out there, bro. And then when we used to do cleanups, people used to complain like, yo, we cleaning up these neighborhoods for these people that's not even coming outside to clean their home block. But it really was about just showing, not the litter, not to keep your stuff clean. You feel me? Like, I'm done with the cleanups though. By the way, like I'm
never done with the cleanups.
Stuff. Like,
I'm never done with the cleanups.
It'd be to the
I
point
love
where the people definitely gotta come out and clean your own. You know what I mean? Come
No,
out,
for sure. But
clean
you
in
gotta
front
build
of
that
you, you know what I'm
culture.
saying? Yeah, for
Culture
sure.
you only build that culture
That's
from
a heavy
seeing
topic
it.
people don't be really talking
Talking
about.
about,
Like,
yeah.
no, for sure.
Because if it's clean out, if it's so clean out, it might not kill you because it just don't, I don't even feel the energy. This showing just different. When I come outside, it's dirty, it's stinky. I'm on that already.
Suburbs, they don't litter out there.
They don't
All
see
that
there.
support, like you
Yo.
said, systematic.
I'm about to say it's all controlled.
It's all controlled.
All controlled by design. You know what I mean?
Why you think the taxes just dictate where you go to school, how good your school is?
Absolutely.
And all that, right? The high taxes, good school, all that.
Absolutely.
All that is
All play a
important.
part.
So the next
All
question
that
for you.
matters.
I got another one. Go ahead, I want to let
Cause
you
we
go.
bleed these joints out.
No,
When
yeah.
y'all asking questions, we bleed them joints out.
I do. One of the things you said, and I just want to take it there, where you was talking about you doing the cleanups, and your folks like, why we doing this, and folks that live here not even doing it. All the things you did, so you like being in the middle of Hunt Park and Broad, and all that to raise money. Anybody ever tried to deter you from your dream?
Make money that don't make sense, and I want people to stop saying that. Anybody that's getting into this nonprofit business know it is not easy, but it's a big business where some of the most paid CEOs in the world is coming from nonprofit organizations.
Talk to them.
So let's talk about money, right?
It's an NFL nonprofit, I heard.
Talk to them.
Bro,
Colleges, all that.
we gotta talk about the language of nonprofit, you know, what it's for when you talk about nonprofit. All these things matter, you know what I mean? A lot of people just jumping on the wave because you thinking, oh, I got a good heart, I'm a nonprofit. Good heart ain't got nothing to do with nonprofit.
Wiped out. Wiped out.
You'll be beat up and battered thinking because you got a good heart that you could just jump in the nonprofit world. Nonprofit is big business. Nonprofit has nothing to do with your heart. Get it out your mind.
Free game.
It has nothing to do with your heart. You have to learn, and you have to understand the business to be able to be a profitable nonprofit. You feel what I'm saying? You got nonprofits like United Way. You know what I mean? That's making buku money off of donations, endowments, sponsorships, or whatever, tax write-off. However, that is big business. We got the same capacity, but we don't know that side because we coming in leading with our heart, running out there getting our head cracked, but we ain't doing the business part of what we supposed to be doing when we doing impact. You can't separate the two, or you're gonna get frustrated climbing the scale of impact without no business infrastructure. Because you're gonna feel like everything you did was pointless, and everything that you did out of the kindness of your heart went unnoticed, unrecognized.
Be better.
You know,
over grants.
and you think
make you turn you
United Way and Red Cross beefing?
You ever had your head cracked?
Plenty of times. No, we're not about to trip. We're not about to trip. It hurt. It hurt. It would crack you to the point where you on your knees and ask a guy like, "What am I doing?"
Cause they'll tell you, listen, a 20-page grant.
I'm
that
dead
took
serious.
probably- That took probably, I want to say 2 weeks, right? Then you had to pay somebody to
Look over it.
Look over it. You had to pay somebody to submit it. You had to make sure, and then they'll send you an email back like, "Yo, listen, your work is recognized. We know what you're doing. We acknowledge your work. You can't get it though."
No. Scratch that.
200 more people.
You talking about
You
the
know what I'm
email?
saying?
How about being in a room with all city council and whoever know you from your work, and they acknowledge you, say it, and give you a city citation or whatever the case may be, but got city budgets and they writing you in it.
$1 million budgets. Right. We talking about M's. Like M's.
And when we talk about a small piece of the pie to fuel the work that you know that we doing, that's actually invoking true change and impact in their communities. A lot of them don't got all their paperwork together, but how about creating a space where that is a one-stop shop for the people that really need to learn the business?
I see the grant system should be evolved. So I feel like the grant process is so outdated. They need like a toll system that every neighborhood in Philadelphia should get a piece of the pie. You get what I'm saying? Because sometimes Frankfurt, we don't get nothing. You get what I'm saying? Like, and nobody from Frankfurt on that.
So is this a city council thing, state rep thing, mayor thing? Like what is
No.
Top,
I'm about to say,
this
we ain't even
level.
trying to like point out no specific city council. It only it's all of them
It's
work
the
for
system,
us.
yeah, it's
I'm about
the
to say it's a
system.
system that we need to learn how to operate. That's the problem.
Okay.
As voting citizens, we need to learn the system and we don't know it. That's the problem. It's not that we don't have no power. It's not that voting don't work or none of that. It's really not understanding the power that we possess. And it sounds so crazy and cliche, but the truth of the matter is we don't have the information. And it's about ignorance and apathy. People don't know and they don't care.
They don't think they need to know.
And that's the sad part, because even voting directly affect how much money come into your community. And people don't care about voting.
Most folks only care about voting for their president.
And that's the sad part. That's the big show. That's a show that really don't matter. But the people that you can see that you walk past that you might, those are people you can hold accountable. I can't hold Trump accountable or whoever getting that seat. I can't hold them accountable at my capacity. But in my community, I can hold any official in my community accountable to do what they supposed to do, because they literally work for us. And the problem is, nobody really having those conversations. They walking around as if that they're doing something special for us, and you getting paid through our tax dollars to do what we need you to do, but you're not doing it.
Perception of relationship is like it's skewed.
It's horrible, actually.
We don't understand, but like what you said, that they actually work for us. We see them moving around, and we think that we supposed to be trying to serve them in X, Y, and Z, and that's not the case. I love that y'all talking about this. Man. Y'all are literally celebrities within the neighborhood that people can touch.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
On the Sherry Show,
for sure.
Wallow outside,
for sure.
Outside
for sure.
with you, all that, man.
For sure.
And I think that those things are impactful because it shows our kids that like you can be known, you can have a reputable name, and you don't have to be outside acting a fool.
You don't.
Or you gotta play ball. You don't gotta rap.
No, for real. No, real. That's real.
He's a hero.
Absolutely.
He's a hero.
Broke successful person, for sure.
But you also showed it's not about what you said. It's not about the dollar. All that's gonna come.
Absolutely.
When you grow from the neck up.
Absolutely.
I'm saying you can have a good heart, but you gotta grow from the neck up.
Absolutely.
The messages y'all sending, 10 years, them kids is a part of what you're doing.
Speaking of that, I got something for y'all. Speaking of that, I've been doing the mentorship. This is our 10 years of mentoring, officially. I've been doing this mentoring work, impacting the youth to the point where my program that I used to teach, I'm just a CEO as I put the seat now, right? And now the kids that was in the program are running my program.
Crazy.
The kids that came from my program are the creative directors at the Treehouse. The kids that we raised up with morals, values, integrity, and understanding the culture we were trying to create are now the product and running the program. So it's like, that's real tangible evidence of the work that we're doing. And we got hundreds of mentees that graduate out of the program in the last 10 years. Hundreds of mentees. They come together like Power Rangers when it's time.
Yeah. So like, I'm glad you mentioned your program. Because one of the joints that you do that I admire so much, because you don't really see it a lot, because a lot of folks are very prideful and they want folks in their home, but you have parent meetings.
Absolutely.
You know
our parent meetings be bigger than the school parent meetings sometimes.
And I'm already aware. What's happening in the meetings? What are y'all talking about?
Everything. We gotta get into the home. You only get in one aspect when you know the kid. When you know the parent, you understand where they coming from.
Right.
You understand why this kid is like that, and then you can serve them better. You gotta get into their upbringing. You gotta find out what's going on in the house, and a lot of those restrictions that, those school counselors can't do, the teacher can't do. They got red tape that they can't engage to a certain extent, but not us. I'm in the community every day. I could kick a door down if I want to.
Right.
About these kids. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna go in the crib if I got to. You know what I mean? And we gonna handle it how we need to in our community. You feel what I'm saying? It's a little bit different when you not under those restrictions. So yeah, like that's a thing.
Can you tell me, so with like the parent meetings, tell me about like a time where y'all having a conversation in parent meeting, you like, damn, like this family or this.
We having whole interventions.
Yeah.
So it could be a kid coming to me. A kid could come to me and he could be straight up and down because of the culture that we created in the Treehouse. He go home, he probably cussing at his mom, all the disrespectful stuff that we not teaching in the program, but you feel comfortable going home and doing it to your mom because that's what's going on in the house.
Right.
How do we address that? What are you doing that you got all of us sitting right here?
Right.
That you about to crash out to the point where you're not in control of your life because you can't control your own decisions or your attitude or whatever.
Right.
So I'm gonna tell you this: we just added the nest to our organization. Is another arm, is the mental health side. We got therapists, and we got our mental. We had a emotional support coach that is in the mental health field, and she been working with us. Her name Les. They call her Miss Free. She been working with us for 5 years, and she transitioned into creating the nest. The nest, her and Jordan is creating the resources and the foundation of bringing and being intentional about bringing the family in. Before we was kind of being intentional, just having parent meetings, but now we got the whole supportive staff with the nest that give you outside resources from the treehouse. A holistic approach to programming, making sure we taking care of them from the womb to the tomb, from the classroom to the bedroom to the community. We want to make sure that we are standing in the gap of the needs of wherever they at, so we can help them be for them full selves.
Yeah. Drama all around me, they be DC. This time they can't switch sides. A bird's eye when I swear by. Top down, they was not around who I got now. We made champions, yeah. In the trenches, we made champions, yeah. At the bottom, we made champions, yeah.
Earlier, so the ceilings is the prerequisite program for the, I would say, I'm saying, I want to say 1st to 5th grade, but I started letting pre-K in already.
Right.
Like the first season's like, you 4 years old, you're in pre-K? Come on. I'm going to take the kids because we need to plant those seeds and water while they're young.
Yeah, that's when they see it.
And that's when they be able to adopt it naturally. Like, train up a child the way you should go when he's older.
Circle.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my whole thing about that is, like, when you give them that, they got a moral compass to come back to. So they got a standard. Like, I know I ain't supposed to do that because I was told better.
Right.
You got something to hold on to. So
as a viewer, if you watching this, it's a lot of information, right? A lot. You got to really break it down. So when you're hearing all the information, you got to realize like how heavy these brothers are as hood heroes, and the benefit of their work is now. My mentor, Dr. Wayne Williams, told me, "Find what's missing and fill the void." So they do their research and their work ethic. Now, city officials call them and give them funding because they know that they can bring the community out. If Ryan Harris or Buddha has an event, 100 kids, 100 adults coming out just off their name. So city council wants to get behind them, city reps and all that, get behind them, mayor, whoever, because they bring the community. But for that work, they receive awards, as they should. Because if you hear all this information the last 40 minutes of listening, you'll know, like, whoa, they deserve plaques. So tell me some of the biggest awards you got, surprising awards you got, and the recognition you got, because you deserve it, brother.
Yeah, go ahead. Pop your shit right now.
Yeah, pop it, man. Like I said, man, you know what I mean? He's on the news so much, think he's an anchor. He gets so many awards, think he's a mayor.
Talk to him.
Tell us about being on the news and the awards. And
all right, so I will say this. The best award that I ever got came from my own community. It was the first award that I got. It was a plaque that is, before I felt like I did what I was supposed to do, like me being where I'm at today, 13 years into the organization, they gave me an award before I got here. The people that believe in what I'm doing, the people that love me, the people that is supporting what I'm doing, I think that was the best award I ever got because they know me. They know my transformation from being a kid, what I had to endure through whatever family issues I went through, or me being a kid growing up on Delhi through poverty or whatever the case may be, then me going to Cheney and being a party boy and this and that. Like, they watch my transformation. They know me. People just getting to know me. And a lot of people that think they know me don't know me.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So, for them that know me and know what I've been through and me being here now, and they awarded me before I actually did all the work now. I'm not saying I wasn't putting some work in, but I didn't deserve where they put me at, but that's what we need to do with the kids. We need to put them where they don't deserve to be so they can see themselves there before they get there.
give them a goal they don't have now.
They did that for me, and that was probably the best award. And all other awards, you know, they some dope awards and some great recognition. But I want to say this. Awards and all that, that's cool, and I'm not taking nothing away from it. But what fueled me is the work. Recognition is cool. You know what I mean? I'm not taking nothing away from it, downplaying it, from the White House to city of Philadelphia to Chicago to wherever I'm at, and they giving me awards.
It's all facts, White House?
White House, yeah, absolutely. I did an 18-month cohort program with them, with me, Pastor Carl, and Tom Ward. We was picked out of 52 organizations in the country to be a part of this cohort for anti-gun violence, and they did a lot of studying on our organization. Organizations give us a lot of technical training assistance that will help us do the other side of the business part, so you can be profitable one day.
Right.
So, so from the White House to City Hall to Chicago.
What City Hall give you? What City Hall give you?
A couple citations. I think I got three citations from City Hall.
What about Chicago? What they doing? You ain't
Chicago.
Chicago. What's going on? Confused.
I do work out Chicago. Shout out to my sister Inglewood Barbie out there doing amazing work.
Right.
Connecting with them, and I linked up with them through Top Dog. That's a whole other story. But if I say that real fast, let me jump through that real fast.
Pop it.
So Top Dog, shout out to Top Dog. Let's start there, because he
put his money behind mine.
He put his, but not so much just
My
money.
Top Dog Law.
Yeah, not so much as money. He trusts me with what I'm doing to be able to garner that much support to fuel the work that I'm doing. And I can't say that for everybody just freely wanting me to succeed to the point where they taking hundreds of $1,000s over the last 5 years to $500,000 in the last 5 years. You feel what I'm saying?
$500,000 spent, $500,000 like coming in for the organization.
And spent. It's spent so when it come in.
Yeah. Coming to be spent.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, immediately we be in a hole by the time the money comes.
already.
So we ain't even gonna think about that. But Top Dog was one of them people that invested me freely, without restrictions, without dictation, without red tape. And he just like, do what you need to do.
Okay, Top Dog.
Money that, and that's another thing. A lot of people got this misconception like Top Dog give me a 110 by itself. No, Top Dog is smart. He got a law firm. Firms that he partnered with and associated himself with, and those companies he reach out to, and he do packages to donate into our organization from $2,500 to $10,000. And all of the associates that he lock in with, his partners, they come together and do $2,500 here, $500 here, and they add up to that much money, and it come all to as I plan to see. No red tape. No, you got to do this with it. None of that. Ryan, do what you need to do. I know you're doing what's best for the community. Some of the money come from Chicago.
Right.
So, me being the person that I am, understanding the dynamics of grassroots organizations, people need to be innovative on how we share money.
Right.
If money coming from Chicago, from some of the lawyers in Chicago, then I'm going to send the money back to Chicago so it can take care of Chicago. Right. Chicago going to do the same thing we're going to do.
Right.
I had no connection to Chicago before that, but what I did with Baltimore, one of my mentees, Hanif, he doing Uptalk, and he doing amazing work. He literally doing the same thing we doing, mentorship program we got, and all these different other programs.
Shout out to the organization now.
Shout out to Unlimited Potential, my man, my mentee, my mentee, however you want to call him, Hanif. He is doing the same work. When money came from Baltimore, the first year it came from Baltimore, I sent the money to him so he could take care of the kids in Baltimore, because the money came from Baltimore. So that was our play. Ever since that first time, wherever the money was coming from, we taking it back to that city, and we finding people that's like us to fuel their work. So we've been doing that 2 years in a row. We done gave Chicago over $30,000 from the money that we received.
Right.
We done gave Baltimore over $30,000 from the money we received in the last 4 years.
Right.
So going to Chicago, Inglewood Barbie, she gonna see this, so I want to make a disclaimer that I'm not calling them homeless, because she don't play that. She call them the friends. So I'm just letting y'all know the language that I'm about to use, because y'all probably don't know that she call them homeless friends, and I adopted it as well. I don't call them homeless anymore. I call them the friends, because homeless is like a derogatory.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So we call them the friends, and I was Neef Neef talked to my man Simeon from another organization that we're a part of, and he told us who was on the ground doing the real work in Chicago. He sent us a page, we looked through it, and we like, she like us. So let's go tap into her. So that's how I start building relationships in Chicago. So we've been going out there and dropping off money. Every time we get money from Top Dog, we turn it around and go right back out Chicago and take it out there. So that organization, Something Good in Inglewood, is another organization that mimic exactly who we are as an organization. Right. We also bless them, and we just help them with taking kids. They went on the college tour. They took about over 10 kids at a college tour. You know how expensive that can get.
Right.
And they got a nursery, and they just built the school. And then they got a nursery inside the school they just built, and they needed cribs. So we donated money for them to be able to buy 10 cribs, brand new cribs for that. So we doing the work, and our work extending so far. And I forgot what the original question was.
I want real quick though. Can I just break down, like, because you know when you're throwing numbers out there, people think. Even
what are you breaking down?
I want to break down the budget, right? Just real quick. Like,
okay,
when you get awarded some money or whatever, or a grant, or somebody donate something. So
people think people rich.
Yeah, people think that you actually getting the money as far as you being a nonprofit, but the budget as far as like even where the economy at these days, you doing the toy drives, the events, you need moon bouncers, DJs, photographers, you need other people, but you also create an opportunity for those, you know, for your pit and your people want to do these jobs. Absolutely. But that stuff costs money, bro.
Absolutely.
Moon bounce used to be $300-400 back in the day.
250. Not now, 700.
500, 700. You get what I'm saying? So that money kind of just, like he said, that money already be going on a debt that we already created to support the kids, taking them XYZ,
I'm gonna give them a real John. By December, before the Christmas event, before we about to get money from Top Dog, we already probably $20,000 in the hole from programming that we trying to just make ends meet. And I'm talking about paying my employees, that's super loyal, that's sticking around regardless, feeding the kids every day, transportation, taking them on trips, giving them incentives so they can stick around, making sure even when there's something traumatic happening, like we will buy a refrigerator for a family if their lights get cut off and their food go to waste.
Behind the scenes
all these different costs that people don't understand that it take. Because you got to be in it to understand. So when somebody see, as I plant the seeds, it's got 110,000.
Right, yeah.
Off the top 30 going.
I'm already in the rear.
I'm 30 in. Soon that money coming in, I'm sending to my employees like, God bless y'all. Thank y'all for sticking around, and I appreciate y'all. And now
think you rich.
I'm 30.
People think you rich.
From 110, from 30, where you at? You at 80.
80, yeah. And
then you talking about using some of the money to provide gifts for over 500 kids that's coming through the treehouse for Christmas.
Yeah.
That's another $25,000 we spending. You feel what I'm saying? Wow. So before we even really start going back into programming, we got to deal with Christmas and the back balance.
Right.
And I'm giving y'all real raw,
that's real game.
Real raw information. You feel what I'm saying? So you talking about 30, take away 110, you got the 80. You take another 25.
Yeah.
The marketing budget.
And then I might be sending another 25 to 30 to Baltimore and Chicago with that same money. Yeah. So I'm probably walking away with $30,000. And I'm already in my season going into January. Yeah. So it's already getting tight again.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It's crazy.
Because we spend thousands of dollars a week. Right. Just to keep up with the demand of all the kids in the program, making sure they eat and making sure
you got the other people just.
Wait, so Buddha, tell us the importance of the black dollar, man.
It's super important, man. Like that's what I'm super big on right now. Like as far as being able to not go to this place, like even with most of the stuff I got on is
stocked on socks. Stocked up socks. Peep that, like whoa.
Yeah, stocked up socks. My man, he always
down to the socks.
Every time I do a school, every time I do a school, I hit Nav because I like doing giveaways. I like doing giveaways, bro. So I always tap into the brands that's selling merch. Like, yo, listen, donate me some clothes. Give it away to the kids, you know what I'm saying? Like these kids, they not in need, but they still need to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Shout out. Yeah,
I don't feel no kind of way.
What I say to you, I said, damn, bro. Next time,
real rap.
Show was last minute. I'm like, I always got stuff on that.
I got y'all for sure.
We got y'all for sure.
I normally come bringing gifts for sure.
So the importance of
the importance of the black dollar, like so I got a storefront down Frankfurt Avenue that I rent out. Different entrepreneurs come in. Shout out to Hustle Sport. They run the spot, like different, like people in my neighborhood is able to sell their clothes in there, being able to like a one-stop shop instead of going all the way to Camp Pressure. They can come there and grab some stuff. So it's really important because like we keep that money in the neighborhood. Like now when we got events and stuff, these the people I can tap into to educate y'all. Like yo, y'all don't gotta pay Uncle Sam. Y'all can get a tax write-off. I can give y'all these paperwork. Boom, boom, boom. Instead of paying Uncle Sam, here y'all go. Here go a tax write-off. Y'all paying helping Power Circle to help 20 kids, 30 kids, you know what I'm saying? So just that part of it alone to circulate that black dollar is important, bro. When we using photographers, when we using DJs, we hollering at our own people, you know what I'm saying? Like every time, graphic designers, bro, everything, like everything costs. So that's why I wanted to also let y'all know, like, yo, nonprofit, this stuff costs, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't getting no donations, you ain't getting a grant, you gotta dug it out. Or you want to fool, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
people need the clarity because they don't understand nonprofits.
Let's go. They got a free class today.
Like, our folks appreciate that. I'm telling you that they don't know because some of the stuff y'all said we didn't know. People always stack with you. So like, when y'all was bucks, did y'all have the resources that y'all giving right now?
I go first, real quick.
Go ahead.
Because I want to share this. So look, when I grew up, right? So no lie, back in, so I'm 35. So back in the 90s. Like I said, football was real big. Sports was big, you know what I'm saying? Every kid was playing sports. We ain't had phones, we ain't had none of that. You had to be outside playing around. So sports organizations was big, but we also had, I grew up in the Salvation Army. They had a drum when I was 5, 6, 7 growing up, meeting friends. Then they had the, the POW League. They had the Boys and Girls Clubs. They had other rec centers that was operating, basketball leagues. All this stuff was going on, right? Then all of a sudden, I started realizing as a teenager, he was gone, disappearing. No lie, bro. Salvation Army shut down. The POW shut down. It was still rec centers and boys clubs, but it was still like protocol to get into it. Red tape to get into it. Yeah. So those, and then football and stuff got expensive to register and keep up with the time. So no lie, I never asked this. I'm like, yo, why are these Jones disappearing? Right. Then you start seeing the guns come in, like your friends going to jail. At 13, I'm talking about, bro, this 13, 14, 15, losing people like to death, to the streets, to gun violence, and it was really because of those programs was just disappearing. And I never asked, like, why. I know now it was funding issues or whatever the case may be. It might have been systematic to that, these people was uprising, let's take it away from them. You get what I'm saying? So that's how, for real, bro, like even Power Circle and the after school programs I got is from what I was learning when I was growing up, being in these things. Because I always was considered like one foot in, one foot out. I'll go to program, but I still run the streets, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But I always had, like, I was always grounded and had a village. Foundation. Had a village of different people, had the coaches involved. So yeah, like seeing that now, bro, they really took away all those joints. And I'm going through that today, like with the red tape of me bringing 50 kids somewhere, bro. You know what I'm saying? He got his own situation. Like, salute him. Me, I gotta go through a lot of red tape because they like, oh, these 50 kids, they ran bunches, stuff be going on. You gotta create relationships. It takes 2-3 years to create a relationship with a young boy. I'm not just jumping in a young boy life trying to change his life, I could give him, you could give somebody money or something, but you're not bringing that relationship together to really teach him and have that, you know what I mean, have that structure and trust. So we be going through things now, bro, be obstacles that it look good on the outside, bro, but trust me, bro, we be bumping in some heavy rules, which led me to doing other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So God still always maneuver me, get me through it and stuff. So I don't got no complaints, but the game like is real, bro.
Dude, the humble one.
Real, real, bro.
So I had Aztecs. That was my outlet, and I thank God for it all the time. And
we beat y'all by the way, too, in the championship. No, we did, though.
Winner's a winner.
It's like they cooked y'all on the chip, I ain't
even gonna go there because he know better. Yeah, we've been torturing Frankfurt for some time now. They know when the tech come down to Frankfurt, they know it's gonna be a movie every time. But I was kind of tough. Like, you know how you that athlete in the community, how it used to be. They keep you away from everything. Yeah. They going out their way to come get you. They might not even come get your homie, but they coming to get you. You know what I mean? So I was one of the ones that, regardless, like when football season come, I'm on a football field, and I got accountability because of how good I was. I got eyes on me. I'm not overseeing kid. So that accountability, the leadership I was learning from there, it all changed my life. And it's very important to have that foundation and structured programming when it comes to sports as well, because it gives you a lot of your leadership, teach you how to deal with people, your work ethic. You gain this beast mentality. You know what I mean? That help you get through those hard times. So my life wouldn't even be how it is right now if I didn't have those coaches, but I call them mentors for real.
That's what they are.
They're mentors. And a lot of people, for real, let me speak to this camera.
Go ahead, pop it.
Aztecs, or not even just Aztecs, but I'm gonna pop it for the Aztecs, but all Little League football organizations need to be funded. They are not just sports. They are mentorship, safety, and guidance. Discipline. So we can't, and discipline, we can't keep looking at sports as not mentorship, because those coaches going up and beyond for them. They spending the night, they spending money on them kids. So we have to categorize that as mentorships and gun violence prevention as well. So any grants that should be allotted to anybody that's doing work like me and Buddha that don't have nothing to do with sports, if somebody doing sports, that's anti-gun violence. And a big problem with that right now, I want to speak on why it's so important to be on that wave, because back in the day, you separated a shooter from the football player, the shooter from the basketball player. But now the shooter is the basketball player, and he tough.
And he talking,
and he
gonna pop you after this game over if you act crazy.
Right.
And everybody look up to him already because of his talent. So it's like,
and he giving the passes for the things that he doing that everybody know he's not supposed to be doing.
Right.
Because now he not only the demon, he the hope in the community. They don't go together.
The lines is blurred.
You can't blur those lines.
John Morant.
You gotta separate them. I mean, they in the
they put the drill music to the NBA.
In the NBA, and we was talking about Iverson.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. We talking about him not going to practice. We
talking about
cooking him for that. Yeah.
Cooking him for the way he dressed.
For the way he dresses, tattoos.
But they actually bringing that gang kill culture haphazardly into the NBA. And all the kids, they shooting that joint. They blowing their brains out.
Glorifying it. It's being glorified.
And it's normal. Sad.
Yeah.
We is in a place where we let the youth sports get infiltrated by things that we protected it from all these years.
Yeah, man. I think that
talking,
saying, bro,
I'm
like
just keeping it in the
those organizations, they going. It's so much harder now for parents, for moms, for dads to pay for cleats, to pay for pads, and it's so much tougher. In my opinion, I 100% think that like all these little stores, all these little Foot Lockers, and all these companies, that as soon as this team say it's time to play, mom run right to them places, they should be required to support the kids that's playing on them teams. They should be required to donate.
Buy back in.
Hold up, we go.
Community.
And hold on, you gotta go. I want to add on to that. And they saying, because I watch a lot of sports shows, they saying that the best kids are the ones that have parents that can afford to put them in the programs now. So there's no more just rec ball. People getting nice out back in the day.
No. First of all, now you gotta even be good.
You gotta be good now.
It's not even. Coaches don't even coach nobody up no more. You know, we used to go grab young boys off the street.
They recruiting.
If you got an attitude problem, I want you on a football field.
Now you got to check the trainer and all that.
You got to get them an address.
Why like that? Talk about that's heavy.
The times change.
Yeah.
And it's sad where our morals and our values are being held, because everybody need that instant gratification. Even when you talking about cleats back then, you could go get some fly cleats, but you gotta wear fly cleats now.
Yeah,
you have to.
You couldn't just get the sharp Reebok joint like back in the day.
3 pair of them.
No, you got to. And you need the disc, the back plate, and all that. That stuff costs money. You know what I'm saying?
Back in the day, no lie, bro. It had to been. I want to say.
$40.
No, I was saying the amount of teams though.
Oh,
the amount of divisions, the amount of you get 4 or 5 teams in each neighborhood, bro. Now it's only probably 1 team represented, maybe 2. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 1 team only got a couple weight classes. But back in the day, it used to be from 5 years old all the way to
13,
16.
14 years old.
16. I played since I was 16. My last year was
They
16.
extended the age with y'all.
Yeah, I wasn't a
I'm
regular,
older,
man. I was
yeah.
just 16, then
They
right to
bleeding
high
us,
school.
man.
But
Yeah.
now it's like, bro, them joints disappeared. Like,
They bleeding us dry, and these companies not pouring back into the neighborhood.
And then
I'm about
kids
to
get in
say
the
I
streets
don't wanna
10 years old.
You
I don't
by
wanna-
default because you
By
can't play on the
default,
team.
yeah.
I want to take away from the companies that are giving back because
Who is it? Shout them out.
I would say like I remember Modell's coming up. If
Mm-hmm.
you say you play for a certain team in your area, they give you a discount. So that did help. I'm not gonna say
Six Smith back in the
that.
day.
Six Smith.
Back in the
Shout
day.
out to Lloyd Six Smith.
Mhm.
Lloyd Six Smith been through the test of
Yeah,
time.
they used to look out
Shout out
for
Planet Fitness for giving kids
Free,
membership,
absolutely.
free membership
Shout out Planet Fitness
over the
for sure.
summer. I had to stop going
They
to
need
one of
that.
those too many kids going. But
Yeah.
shout out Planet
Oh, that's
Fitness
healthy.
that keep them from being outside, man.
Absolutely.
And it's healthy for them. So I love that.
Yeah, so shout out to those like the Modells. I think they closed down now.
Yeah, they closed
But
down.
Dick's, they give you some percentage off, so they do. But I agree that they could do more.
You can do way more.
Way
you can
more.
do way
They,
more.
they multi-million-dollar companies that ain't missing.
Speaking of doing more, what's up with your school situation? Where you at with that?
So
Put you on the spot real quick.
I know you think you got me thinking how much I want to let go right now.
Yeah,
Just pause.
yeah. Where you at?
All right, so I want to say this without giving up too much tape because I'm making some real power moves in my community to be able to get exactly what I need, and I don't want to crack the egg.
Get what you can.
You know what I mean?
saying?
But I would say that within the next 5 years, I feel like we're gonna be able to build a school.
Yeah.
And it's not just going to be any kind of school. It's going to be the school that's literally geared towards helping the kids where they at, not where we just want to teach them. We can't just keep teaching them ABCs and 1, 2. The world is not ABCs and 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
anymore.
they can get that off.
It's-
They don't
it's
got
over.
no cursive.
Yeah,
it's over. You feel
They don't gotta write no more.
They don't got to do anything. They got to
check
check
book bags and none of that.
Check
Yeah,
GPT.
check
Got check
GPT.
GPT. You feel
You
me?
Shout
gotta
out to
tell them,
ChatGPT,
give them a topic there,
man.
put that joint on
That's
ChatGPT
it.
and spit out a whole paper.
That's it.
And don't gotta do nothing.
No, it's really crazy right now. But I want to reflect. I want to build a school that reflect what the future going to be.
Yeah.
Instead of us giving them information that keep them in bondage.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? This information that they get in school is giving you career paths to the
no
same
careers.
to the careers that's
I like
being
that.
outdated. It don't make no sense, and they literally put them in a tunnel down to it and suffocating each player. Each student to fight for those competing jobs that's
Right.
left.
Right,
You
right.
know what I
right.
mean?
They set
So
some up as a pipeline to the jail system.
without a doubt, we
Prison
already know
system
that.
pipeline.
We already know that.
Everything
So
structured
I
towards
want
first
to meet these kids where they at and give them a whole lot of more the stuff that they need to make them whole people, the necessities they need to fight through those obstacles to meet them where they at and give them the skills for the future that's going to be able to help them create generational wealth. But if not creating generational wealth, at least stability for the family that you create.
One of the things I would love to see, man, like, and if maybe you can get in your school when you get it popping, is like an inventory of jobs. We are like oversaturated in home health aides, right?
Yeah.
There's so many jobs. Like our kids only know the jobs of their neighbors,
Absolutely.
the people in their neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
there's so many other things that they could be doing that they don't know about. So I would love to see, like, this is an inventory. This is what you could be doing. That's something that's like that they could see.
That's part of what we're doing already.
That's what- yeah,
We
for
just
sure.
had an entrepreneurship program. Shout out to Shantae 2 times. Shout out to
She got great energy.
Shout out, Sean.
Shout out to Bree Couture, that's one of our mentors. They came in and did a whole entrepreneurship segment.
Yeah.
Giving the kids headshots, teaching them the ins and outs of entrepreneurship and business 101.
Yeah.
Like literally learn them how to brand and market at an early age. So these are some of the concepts that's already embedded into the program.
I want to add on to them because we got to wrap up soon. So, Scott, ask your question before you wrap up. But
Yeah, for
I want
sure.
to get some honorable mentions, and I'm going to say your names, and you can add on how y'all want to say these names.
I hope you say my man name. Go ahead.
Let's see. Manny 215.
Manny
Shout out to
215.
Manny.
Listen, I met Manny prior to all this transitioning when he was transitioning from rapper to activist. You know what I mean? He used to be with the mentees in my program. So he not one of my mentees that was in my program, but I took him. I would say that, you know, he was around me enough for me to say that he really one of my youngins for real, for real. I love him dearly, and I love the work that he's doing. He is giving a lot of young boys hope that's like him. You know what I mean? That is, you know, he an ex-football player as well, got hurt, and different circumstances life led him to doing the wrong thing, but he is a good example for some young kids to look up to and be able to say, I can. You know what I mean? Because of his circumstances, where he came from, and he doing X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? And he the one that sent Top Dog my way, actually.
You cool, man. You
No,
too,
definitely.
right?
Shout out to Manny. He was definitely one of those key parts of coming to my program down in Frankfurt. He got a lot of ties with the manager down in Frankfurt. Shout out to Taha. So just him already knowing, you know, some people that I knew in my neighborhood, he always popped up to the program, did some rap battles with the kids, spoke to the kids. So yeah, shout out to him for sure.
How about Chill Moody? I feel like he don't get enough credit. Chill Moody.
Chill don't get enough credit at
So
all.
a lot of people probably don't know. Chill Moody really a community boy.
For sure.
At his core, at his heart, he really, you know, he be on the ground. People don't even know. Like,
That's funny.
We bowl every Tuesday together, a 17-week bowling league.
Yeah, another sneaky young.
He nice,
with
too.
A lot of little businesses.
How about Leonzo and Will?
Yeah.
Will Time.
Yeah, Will Tiles and
Shout out.
Leonzo.
Will Tom, my brother,
Yeah, I
like,
say shout out to Will Time. I found out he went.
Leon's with my brother, like, I started this journey. Well, I ain't gonna say I started the journey. The treehouse journey, I met Will around while we just acquired the treehouse, and it was in process of getting fixed, and he was doing the same thing with Rec Philly down Market Street, and we was bouncing ideas off of each other. Literally, you know, he'll send me something. I said, yo, check this out for me. Proof this. Check my website out. Tell me if this up to par or whatever. That's my brother. And
Tell them who Leonzo and Will is, for ones that don't know.
they brothers for real, for real. No, not real brothers, but I'm saying like,
Yeah.
It's a putting together. Like that.
they brothers, like, you know, they've been doing a lot of work together. They built Rec Philly together, and they just intertwine with a whole lot of business ventures, and they just good folk to know in this industry to have in your back pocket to be able to call when you not just need something, but when we just need really advice or somebody to talk to. Good brothers, solid brothers.
And last one is Young Bob and
That's what I was waiting for right
you
there.
already know.
I was waiting for that.
Young Bob. We're gonna do it in the three trios. My last one, Young Bob, Wallow, and Nomo. I'm not sure his name.
Rick. All right, so you want
Shout out to
Bob,
Young Bob.
Bob, our brother.
That's our brother. Yeah,
Nah,
that's our brother.
we locked in.
Yeah.
Bob one of us. He one of us.
And it's crazy.
He don't get
so-
enough credit either.
Yeah, he don't get enough credit because it's crazy because a lot of the young people need to know who Young Bob is to the
Me
culture.
too.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like me growing up, bro, 15, 16, running after school to go put that next DVD in with all your homies to watch that
Feel
joint.
me?
Right.
To now working with Bob and texting him, and so Bob.
First of all, he a legend.
He a legend.
Let's
for
not
sure.
shortchange that
Yeah.
man
Oh man, Bob.
because
Young Bob for sure.
he's so humble. He'll make you
He
shortchange
modest.
him because
Yeah.
he's so modest and humble. But we all be telling him like, yo, bro, you really, really a legend. You really, really
One of them
created
guys.
created something, a movement in the city that nobody can take away from you.
Right.
Nobody can forget, and we still know them raps
Yeah.
word for word,
Facts.
don't we?
Facts.
Don't we?
For sure.
So I'm just saying.
Bob,
so
shout
it's
out
like,
to him though,
shout out
because
to
we
Bob.
always definitely just share plays, share research with each other, and we just link up regularly. Like
And
on
Bob
some
look out for
brotherhood.
everybody. He
Yeah.
behind the scenes. He got his hands in a lot of little stuff that people don't give him credit for just because of the way his demeanor is.
Yeah.
But like that boy got his hands. He be developing people and he sneaky text boy and motivate you, boy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Like,
He
I
one
see
of them.
you.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
he's somebody good to have in your corner.
Yeah, I look at they like my mentors though. Him and Ryan, they're a little bit older than me, so I definitely call them all the time for advice and stuff for sure. But shout out to Bob. Who else
Say-
you said? Oh, Wallow. Shout out
Wallow,
to Wallow.
Nomo.
Yeah.
So Wallow, both of us, I feel like in the uprise, he came through. Like when he first
No,
came
real
home,
rap.
coming to our programs, talking to our kids, and we really got to see him like really, you know,
Our brother.
elevate in front of your eyes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Him coming to talk to the kids and stuff. To now like being
Him
where he
being
at.
a giant
Yeah,
in the
so shout out to
industry.
him. I always tell him every time I see him, they rewarded me $25,000 when they was doing the Barstool grants out. So definitely, I always say shout out to them because that was like one of my first big grants like that. You know what I'm saying, publicly that really had the help for Power Circle. So
And as we leave, tell us how we can support you. Real quick, 1 minute.
We got go on our website. You'll be able to donate through our website. But more importantly, come share your skills. Come invest in the youth and spend your time. That's more valuable than money.
Got you.
Got you. Listen, man. So
Damn, we spot.
this is
Rick.
what? No, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
shout out,
Go
no
ahead.
more.
Shout out, we got
Yeah.
shout out Rick, and you know Wallow helped us get the first 30K off.
Yeah.
He came out and lit it up, and people started donating. So
Yeah,
shout out to
seen that
Wallow.
joint.
If
Shout
it
out
wasn't
Wallow.
for him, that a lot of that momentum for that fundraiser wouldn't happen. And Ricky Duncan doing the same work as us.
Producers, we got what women led producers.
What we got, Tristan?
We got like 2 minutes.
2
All right,
minutes.
give us one of your joints
I'm
real quick.
gonna just throw some names at you real quick. You tell me what come to your mind, right?
Go ahead.
Malcolm X,
Revolutionary.
Militant.
Militant, Dr. King.
I'm doing some research, y'all.
Come on,
Still shot
guys.
him.
Minute 30 seconds. Come on.
I put him at a standard of philanthropy for sure. Game changer.
Yeah.
I would say power. I would just leave power.
Resourceful.
Marcus
Power.
Garvey.
Philosopher.
Philosopher.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Artist.
Dr. Julius Flynn.
Damn, he trying to make me your hero, mentor. Like for me personally, but like he a giant.
Yeah.
He a giant of wisdom.
So listen, you hear that?
I love
Giant
that.
of wisdom.
I love
God
that.
rest him.
This is the
God rest his
Super
soul.
Legendary Podcast. You're sitting here talking to two legends that doing the work. You have all this footage to see why they are living
y'all
to legendary.
Oh,
Thank you,
man.
Buddha.
Great, yo.
It always seems like it's never enough time, right?
Never. You know what I mean? We about to come back, man.
No,
That's
we
great,
gonna
man.
definitely come back.
For sure.
Definitely come back.
I
For
like what
sure.
y'all got
Great.
going on for sure, man. Shout out to y'all,
No,
though.
y'all-
Shout out to